What is going on, everybody? This is AFG 1997 here, coming back with you another video right here, guys. And yeah, we are ready to rock and roll. And before we get to that one, again, make sure you guys check your videos as always, every day, and check your channels too if they're not hacked or so. If it does, then your channel has been demonetized. Because we already saw what happened on Sunday night, this past Sunday night, with him and Reinhardt's channel at 12:20 over there on the Pacific Northwest Standard Time. Yeah, excuse me for a second. I'm gonna turn it off. There we go. At 12:20 a.m. Pacific Northwest Standard Time. Yeah, someone hacked his channel. Someone took over because of the explicit content. We don't want to get so much for that on this channel. Because if I say this on this channel, my video will be one of my videos will be demonetized. This video will be demonetized, and my channel will be demonetized. So, yeah, guys, we're all be said. We're ready to get down to business. Yeah, before Monday night's national championship, I'm still sticking with my picks to locked in with IU over Miami, 40 to 34. Excuse me, starter 40 to 34. Without besides overtime game, it's going to be a close game in regulation, so back and forth. Now our first game is this Saturday. Before we get to the NFL playoff brackets, as we'll get to that in just a moment, first up, our game of the afternoon. We're going to have our first game of the day starting up on Saturday at 3:30 here my time. The Bills, the Buffalo Bills, finally got their first road playoff win since 1992 of the AFC title game against the Dolphins back then. It was back in 1992 season, and they lost the Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys after went to third straight before the fourth straight in 93 season. Yeah, that's all she wrote. So yeah, Bills and Broncos. Yep, the Broncos rested up their starters. Their players are in a good shape after that first round bye. After that big impressive win against one way to another, and I hate this ad too much. I know it does that, but it is what it is. So the Bills and Broncos. So we're gonna take a look at the overalls before we get to the stats. Let's start with the overall. Well, this stats on the past couple games on the Bills side. The last game we just saw, man, it was pretty feisty against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We saw what happened, and back and forth game because I was watching the Texas Longhorns. Yeah, the women's basketball's on a 2-game winning streak. What the hell else is new? They're playing like dog shit again. Back to it since 2000. They're on a 2-game losing streak for the first time since 4 years ago, 2022, and this is not looking good. Because we got Aggies on Sunday. I am gonna watch it before the Texans game starts in the next hour. Well, after that hour, then the next hour the Longhorns play. So their last game we just passed on the Buffalo Bills. 1 sack on that game in the playoffs. Joshua Patrick Allen, 20 out of 35, 273 passing yards, 80 completion percentage, 7.8 average, a touchdown, and you saw the quarterback ratings 108.69. And their running backs, Allen only had 2 rushing touchdowns with 33 yards rushing and 11 carries. And just disappointed because of football. It's most important you're seeing this, and then wide receiving targets. Shock here. 12 targets and clean catches, 82 receiving yards. And this is really perfect for Shakir. Very impressive movement, and Ken Cod. He's been really something else, only a touchdown. But they're going to get some work ready to go, unless they got to do something. And Davis got their fumble loss on not recovering, but 2 interceptions on each player's interceptions on Bishop and Thompson, Shaq Thompson. Their defense are going to have some work coming up, and the Roseau gets a sack against Trevor Lawrence, aka Sunshine. Now the Broncos. Well, I didn't expect this to happen because, yeah, the last time these two teams met in the playoffs, well, last season in 2024, the Broncos got into playoffs to send the Cincinnati Bengals out, back home, and they got the last laugh. But the next week, they got absolutely wiped out against the Bills, 31-7. Now, the question is the Broncos ready to revenge? Sorry about that. I'm going to get copyright from the NFL. It is what it is, but on this past season, well, 28.3 points per game, they're in the top 5 along with yards per game. In the top 10 with the Broncos, same with time of possession per game, Bills got more of it in the top 10, 5 or 10, it doesn't matter. Total defensive sack, 68 on the Broncos. Their defense is really, really stacked and hot. Is it going to be like 2005 all over again with Jake Plummer back in the old days? Because they got their first round bye rest up back then. I remember they blew out, absolutely destroyed Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II, which is Tom Brady, New England Patriots. And he thrown him to stop him a three-peat. And the Broncos went on the AFC Championship game next week, lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Steelers win the Super Bowl. Then 10 years later, Peyton Manning and the Broncos got the biggest wish on his last farewell tour under coach Gary Kubiak out of Texas A&M. Well, Gary Kubiak was also the quarterback at that time to back up with the Denver Broncos with John Elway during that time. That really much ruined themselves after the 91 season, and the Bills beat them. And that would have been Gary Kubiak's Super Bowl dream come true. It did not happen. Except he was a coach. He got his wish. Plus, yeah, they're all the same, but for this season, Allen's got more touchdowns. Well, they're split with passing touchdowns with Bo Nix. But passing yards, Nix has got more than Allen. Cook has more than Dobbins. Sutton has more than Shakir on the receiving yards. And don't forget the touchdowns. But Cook has more rushing touchdowns. And now the injury report is there. It's now been ended. Allen is full participation to be ready to go. But as Spenisa and Thompson, they did participate on practice squad, on practice daily routine. But they're on questionable is Bernard going to play because he has a cap problem. On the Broncos side, Franklin Myers full participate. They're all ready to go with Greenlaw. Crew and Sanders, they're not playing. They're out on Saturday nights, on tomorrow night's game. Well, tomorrow evening's game, into afternoon evening's game. Well, it's gonna sorry, Mountain Time over there at 2:30, 3:30 here in my time. Crew has a foot problem and Sanders has an ankle problem. I'm still sticking my picks because of the Super Bowl picks ready to go. I got the Broncos winning this game, and we're going to look at the spreading points right now, and they're only minus 1.5, total 45.5. You got to take the over. If you're a Broncos fan, take the over, so you don't lose yourself into this. I got the Broncos winning this game. Revenge against the Bills and Allen. Because Josh Allen, I'll be surprised if they could go to that Super Bowl without my Chiefs, of course. But this is what the Bills need. Work. They are working their butts off. And I won't be shocked if they beat the Broncos on tomorrow because it's gonna stun me. And that really surprised me is my bracket's busted. My Super Bowl pick is wrong. So there's the big one. Now the next game. Seahawks 49ers. Yes, the last time these two teams met, it was on a Week 18 Saturday night game on that one. And that game was pretty sloppy. We just knew. That game was ups and downs. They won it by a double digit. They only scored like, I guess you could say a touchdown, except 2 more field goals for some point. And what kind of bars me is, oh yeah, 49ers and their quarterback, Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. Quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant on the last pick. I think it was 2021 or 22, something like that. Yeah, but still. Made it to the Super Bowl, lost to my Chiefs, went back-to-back in Las Vegas. But their stats from the last game, 49ers, they took down the Philadelphia Eagles and the defending Super Bowl champions and dethroned them on Sunday because of the icy weather. Eagles had multiple chances. Jalen Hurts had multiple chances. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. They stop them. 49ers stop them. And got their revenge. So, that's their payback from that 2022 season in the NFC title game. Yeah, because the Eagles destroyed them and went on to the Super Bowl. In that record, I think they went 14-3. So Brock Purdy's last game, 18 out of 21 on that passing on completions. And then 262 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, picks, and a sack. But Jennings only threw that, I think it was a flea flicker pass. But only caught threw a touchdown pass, 29 passing yards, 100 completions. He was perfect, 1 for 1. No problem for that guy. But Christian McCaffrey's got to get some running plays to go, and same with Brock Purdy. They cannot afford to lose yards, especially turn the ball over. Because what happens to the Seahawks did something what's crazy. It take me back 20 years ago. The Seahawks took care of the Washington, well, it used to be the Redskins, it's now Commanders. Originally Washington Redskins. Yeah. They beat them. And that was their biggest immortality. Immortality is Seahawks and Matt Hasselbeck. Their routine is going to work something else. Be aggressive, not lose the ball, and turn the ball over. You cannot afford to have turnovers if you're a Seahawks. But especially the 49ers, their defense, they're going to get some wake-up call. Seahawks, they're going to get some wake-up calls too. But Robinson only caught a receiving touchdown against Philadelphia. He's had a great game. McCaffrey, a little bit. Christian McCaffrey, a little bit. But only 8 targets, 6 catches. Yeah, more Purdy, they cannot afford a turnover because their Eagles defense gets the turnovers, but they're not there. They're not there. So, sacks, their defense only got 1. That was White. Yeah. They're going to get something. What's really impossible is they're going to get some work done. Except how the 49ers are going to go that far. Well, one condition is you got to go on the keys of the game. Seahawks, 49ers, Seahawks. And now their key victory is going to be very, very hard. So, and now you gotta get to their defense. You gotta contain their run, shut down Seattle's zone run game between Kenneth Walker III, and I'm using my phone, and then Zach Charbonnet they're going to put pressure on Sam Darnold. If that can happen, win early downs. You gotta get first and second downs to control the game on tempo. Limit explosive plays. All you gotta do is give Jackson Smith, Najibra, whatever you want to pronounce his name, force Seattle into a long grinding drives. So, and then you got pressure on Brock Purdy. Their defense, they're gonna get pressure on that, especially on Trent Williams' offensive line. You gotta block it, and then force the turnovers. Their Seahawks defense, they're gonna get something. What's pressuring them? Because their points per game, they're 28.4 than the 49ers. And their kicker, Jason Myers, you gotta get the field goal. What's better? And then you gotta relay on the run, as they did at Week 18. Yeah, they're gonna get something. What's good? Run it. Run the ball. Get down on the ground. Don't fumble the ball, especially throw picks. It will cost you turnovers. And they both had the same on yards per game this season on the split. They were 7th, tied at 7. Defensive sacks, they got more than 49ers. Total defensive picks, they got more than that in the top 5 NFL rankings. So yeah, let's see if the 49ers want revenge, because if they do something about this, it's going to come down to the last minute of that game. So I still stick my Super Bowl picks. I got the Seahawks winning this game by closely against the 49ers. And they're minus 7-point favorites. And they're a total 45.5 favorites for this whole game, because it's going to be both Denver and Seattle will be in the 40s. It's going to be super, super cold over there. Yeah. You got to take the over. I still got the Seahawks winning this game. On to Sunday's game. I'm nervous. The Texans have struggled in the AFC Divisional round. It is to struggle. Ugh. Man, the Texans are struggling, and they have never passed. And right now, they're 0-6. Never passed, and they're on a 6-game losing streak in the AFC Divisional round. I know it hurts, but right now, hopefully our defense will get some work. And guys, go back to the Seahawks and 49ers. I want to look at the injuries and their injury report. Brown is going to be out for tomorrow night's game. Coing and Gifford, they're questionable to play because of a hamstring and quadrip. And then you got Gross Matos, they're ready to go. And then Arroyo, the tight end, is out for tomorrow night's game because of his knee problems. Yeah, big problem with his knee. And then Barner, the tight end, Brian, defensive back, and then you got Cross, offensive line, full participated. So they're all ready to go for tomorrow's game. So, yeah, going back to this one, the Texans and Patriots. This game, the Texans are 0-6 in the AFC Divisional round. I don't know what else to say, because they have never passed the Divisional round, because never been to the AFC title game. The Texans fan know we're tired. Yes, I'm tired too. We are tired of missing out, and it's disappointing, knocking the crap out of us, beating us out in our hearts, because this has got to stop. When are we going to get to the AFC Championship game? Oh, wait. I don't think there will be. Because, to my point is, it is going to be very, very hard if these Texans don't get their act together. It is going to be tougher, and I cannot wait for that because I want to read the article because this is going to settle down if the Texans beat the living daylights out of New England, unless we get some miracles. And let's look at the injury report. Al-Shire is ready to go. Autry is ready to go. Brakeman is ready to go. Brown is questionable. But the sad thing is in the Texans, Nico Collins, he's got a problem of his concussion. He's not playing tomorrow. We're going to have to win without him because my thing is, how's that going to work? Because Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, Austin, Henry, and Jennings, they're all ready to go. So the Texans, top-ranked defense, look to slow down Drake Maye and the Patriots in a divisional matchup. So we're going to read the article, and I'm going to get ready for this. So here's from the AP, says. Drake Maye made his first NFL start against the Houston Texans. The Patriots, New England Patriots' second year on quarterback has come into a long way in the 15 months since. They've been pretty much good since on Sunday night against the Chargers. They've been back. This feels like, 10 years ago? It's been a long journey, Maye said. Running out there with the first snap jitters was pretty cool. It was fun to look back on. We hopefully have a different overcome from that game. That's the quote from Drake Maye. You gotta pass an inside out of it because you don't want to stay in your pocket lane, especially intentional groundings. We saw on Sunday, pretty much impressive. Maye and CJ Stroud each threw 3 touchdown passes that day, but Drake Maye also was intercepted twice and sacked 4 times in the Texas. Yes, their last meeting, and I want to get to that because I don't want to copyright this. This was 2 seasons ago. It was 2 years ago. It was a season ago, October 12, 2024. And now, Houston and New England meet again this Sunday, this time with a trip to the AFC Championship game at stake. Texas has not been there. Patriots have been there like multiple times. Indeed. The Patriots are seeking their first appearance in the title game since 2018 season. Yep, and they won their 6th Super Bowl with Brady, Gronk, Belichick, Robert Kraft. Not the singer of keyboard, the other Robert Kraft himself of the Patriots. When they went on to 6, I told you that, 6th Super Bowl. The Texans have never made it that far, having lost in the division round in the past 2 seasons under third-year coach DeMeco Ryans. It needs to change because what DeMeco Ryans is doing, he's got to give us some aggression and motivate this game. If this doesn't work out, there's going to be a problem for Houston Texans. It's not going to be successful. CJ Stroud just said it out loud, quote, "We've been in this position before. I think we've learned from those things. Now it's time to go put it on tape." He's been studying game films to focus on it, right on his very own visions. Both teams have exceeded expectations. The Patriots went from worst to first in the AFC East, while the Texans recovered from the 0-3 start and are riding a 10-game winning streak. Never lost a game after they would start 0-3, and that's how they struggle big time after their first loss to the Rams. They lost to the Cardinals, I believe. Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals. And then they lose to another team. I don't know what else to say. Mike Rivers just said out loud, quote, "I respect how hard they play. They're not only talented, but they have to play demeanor that I can appreciate." It's going to be a hard Sunday game because you're looking at the defense. They have better picks and the better sacks and their turnovers than New England. But time possession is close. yards per game on New England with Drake Maye and points per game. They got more than that for us. Except New England's game, what we just saw against the LA Chargers. Well, CJ Stroud barely got away on Monday night against the Steelers, and they finally woke him up in the fourth quarter. 21 out of 32, 250 passing yards, a touchdown, a pick, 3 times sacks. Marks only ran for a touchdown, 112 yards rushing, and 19 carries. And then Christian Kirk, 8 catches out of 9 targets, and then 144 receiving yards. Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M. Christian Kirk, not the other guy, we can't mention, but Christian Kirk. Not this video, of course. Still, Christian Kirk. I know who he is. He played for college ball in Texas A&M, drafted Arizona Cardinals, and then exchanged to Houston Texans. And their defense, Hunter sacked him, and then don't forget they fumbled the ball to return it to the house on the Houston Texans defense. And Bullock only ran for a 50-yard pick 6. Yeah. Defense wins championships, right? And don't forget the fumble loss. Yeah, that's pretty much all. But the Patriots against the Chargers. Only a touchdown to pick. 27 out of 19 passing completions, 268 passing yards. But they're going to get some routine if they can just run it. Drake Maye's got some work to do if he wants to run the ball. Same with Devontae Henderson out of Ohio State Buckeyes. But sacks on Jones and same with Jennings. Williams twice. They could kill it out there. And don't forget Chison. So, back to the article. Ryan believes that much of the Patriots' offensive success can be traced up to Maye's grown offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. He's impressed how much freedom Maye, the league's most accurate passer, has been given to run. I agree with that. Quote, I think he is doing a really good job of not making bad decisions with the football, Coach Ryan said, where he's taking the next step it goes on his ability to escape the pocket. I think it really doesn't get talked about much, but his athletic ability, his ability to escape the pocket has been really clutch for him. Well, unless CJ Stroud doesn't get sacked, especially get hit hard against the Patriots defense. Because what happens if it does? CJ Stroud's going to have a problem. Except those last season against the Chiefs, you don't want to know what happened. Because that pretty much stung them in the foot. So, and we told you Nico Collins out because of concussion. So, and then also, Justin Watson, he's also out earlier today for Sunday's game. They will not be playing too. Christian Kirk had a big game against the Steelers, and the Texans are hoping for a repeat performance. An 8-year veteran set a career-high franchise playoff record. Yeah, we told you that. 144 yards receiving. Kirk just had 239 yards receiving in the regular season. Houston will also look for their rookies Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel to pitch in after their college teammates from Iowa State combined for 817 receivings and 8 touchdowns in the regular season. They've been playing good in Iowa State during that time. The Texans will also try to get a tight end, Dalton Schultz, more involved after he had just 12 yards receiving on Monday night. Quote, I'm the most confident in everybody in there to get the job done, Stroud said. And also, Stroud says short memory is keys in the playoffs. Stroud just fumbled the ball twice in his 14-game winning regular season games, but coughed up the ball 5 times against the Steelers. 5 times. But cannot drop it. 2 of them leading to turnovers. He also threw an interception. That's true. What Stroud needs to do is don't turn the ball over. Do not afford the interception because this will hurt them on Sunday's game. It has to be. It goes on. Stroud hopes to take better care of the ball, but he said mistakes happen against strong opponents in the playoffs, and the key is not letting those miscues affect the next play. Quote, I watched almost all the wildcard games since we played the last game. Strauss said, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody had the moment where it's like, dang, we messed up. We're messing this up. Then the teams who find a way to fight through like that and keep going were the teams that came out on top. And Texans won their first road playoff win ever in franchise history. It's been a long time because they've been struggle, and they got the job done. Stroud also threw for 250 passing yards and a touchdown as he became the 4th quarterback in NFL history to start and win a playoff game in each of his first 3 seasons. It's pretty impressive. Campbell shrugged off a criticism. One thing Patriots rookie left tackle Will Campbell has learned this season is how they ignore naysayers. Yep, I would say if I could tell. Campbell, who criticized on social media, you have the yielding a team high 6 pressures and 2 sacks, including a strip sack in the Patriots wildcard win over the Chargers. Now he'll face a stiffer challenge against the Houston's fearsome defensive ends, All-Pro Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama and Danielle Hunter. I don't give a shit what anyone says, to be honest with you, quote Will Campbell said. It's easy to type behind Twitter account is that fake? Well, for me knows the Bluebird app. I'm not calling, I don't want to call it what's the platform name. Because right now I'm using Blue Sky. You can follow me there on Blue Sky because I am posting anime and sports content. It's just beyond me. So, just want to keep it thoughts. I hold myself to the highest expectation of anybody. They are the best teams with the best defenses and the best offense and the best players. They're in the playoffs for the reasons. Dick faces his former team. Stephon Diggs, Patriots wide receiver, welcomes to the chance to shine against the Texans, for whom he played on one injury-short season. Diggs was traded by Buffalo to Houston the following the 2023 season. He played 8 games for the Texans, and that's true, last season, 2024, before suffering a season-ending knee injury. And then he signed with the New England Patriots and led the team with 85 catches and 1,013 yards receiving yards. Quote, he is very explosive after he catches the football, Ryan said. Another guy we got to make sure we have eyes on. So that could lead Stephon Diggs on his passing routine, but I gotta be honest. That could change the game if the Texans want to win and pass this on. But I gotta go with the Patriots, but I'll be shocked if my Texans beat them because this could help their defense. Because look at the Patriots spread. Minus 3-point favorites. 40.5 favorites. They're going to take the over. Texans, you might want to take the under, but you don't want to have problems with that. But I will stick with the Patriots on my AFC Championship pick as always. As always, I will stick with that because I'll be shocked if my Houston Texans finally get the passing win and they'll go to their first AFC title game. Unless the Bills will have something to tell. So, last but not least. Very, very interesting game. And that is going to be the LA Rams against the Chicago Bears. Ryan Kennel from Sports Wars. Now, oops, there we go. Rams and Bears. I think this is okay for you, Ryan Kittle from Sports Scores. Their last meeting, the Bears beat the Rams by 6 a season ago, 2 years ago, 2024 season, last season for them, September 28th. It was in week 4. Bears barely survived, and that was when Matt Eberflus had some stimulus problem for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams. So that game is going to be really tightening under Ben Johnson after that win against my Packers. Yeah, yippee whoop de doo. What the hell else is new? And against the Rams, for them, they just beat. What did they beat? Yeah, that's right. The Carolina Panthers. Yeah, Matthew Stafford and the Rams had that game-winning passing touchdown against the Panthers, and the Panthers had 4 more chances to get the first down inside the 20. Unfortunately, it did not happen because their Rams, their points per game this season, they got more than the Chicago Bears. Yeah, apologize. Also, not yards per game this season than the Bears. Bears have more time on possession, but defensive sacks on the Rams. Picks for the Bears, they have more than that than the Rams, and they got the turnover differential on that for the Bears in the top 5. But what their accuracy is going to be that last game against the Panthers for the Rams, well, here is the stats. And it's going to be very cold over there on Sunday night. 20 degrees. It could be a snow blizzard, wind gusty. Oh, it's going to be very, very chilly football there. Kind of remind me of the Fog Bowl 1988-89 season. And the Bears did beat the Eagles, if I could tell that. Yes. That was not Chip Kelly, Buddy Ryan's team. As a heck, the late Buddy Ryan against Mike Ditka back in those days. Yeah. Matthew Stafford threw 24 out of 42 passing completions and 304 passing yards, made it into only 3 touchdowns, a sack, and a pick once. And then you got their numbers. Bika Nukwa, a touchdown. 13 out of 13 rushings, but 14 rushing carries and then 14 rushing yards. It's just for that. But Kent Williams got to get some work harder than Nukwa. 10 out of 18 catches on targets. 111 receiving yards and only a touchdown. It's just for that. But Parkinson only have a touchdown. 2 out of 3 catches for targets. Same with Williams, 2 out of 2. Perfection. 18-yard receiving yards. And their defense. Man. They got a lot of good tackles. Fiske gets a sack. 4 a sack. 2. Rams only got 2 against the Panthers. In that last game, on the quarterback pressure, Curl and Fisk, they could pressure on Caleb Williams. Same with Ford. And that could happen on Sunday night. That could be the dangerous game. Freaking dangerous. Very, very scary. On Caleb Williams against my Packers, 24 out of 48 passing completions, 361 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and especially a sack. Well, 2 picks and a sack once. But DeAndre Swift out of Georgia used to play with Sonny Michel. Yeah, Sonny Michel. Both Georgia Rose Bowl champs. 13 out of 13 rushing carries and then 54 rushing yards. He's only got a touchdown. Yeah. But Monagai and Williams, they're going to get some pressure on the run. They cannot afford the turnovers. DJ Moore only got a touchdown, 6 out of 7 catches, including targets, but 64 receiving yards. Same as Zacchaeus, a touchdown, 1 for 2 on catches, but only receiving yards. But on the Bears defense, they sacked Jordan Love on Booker only once because our defense know how to pressure, especially on the fumble. Jackson, I don't know, but Kyrie Santos is really good on kicking field goals. He went 3 for 3 against us, but that's what it is, guys. But let's look at the injuries. And now the question is, Dotson is ready to go. Ferguson is ready to go. Ford's ready to go. Will Garoppolo is still a backup. Just want to be sure because he's got questionable on his back to not participate in practice. But McLeod, he's out on Sunday night's game because he had a groin. Jones, Gardner Johnson, C.J. Gardner Johnson, and DJ Moore, they're all ready to go. So their passing yards on Stafford, they got more than Caleb Williams. But Kent Williams, the other Williams, Kent over DeAndre Swift. But Nukua over Loveland, yeah. Rams got more than that one. Now, for me, I still stick with my pick. I got the Bears to go to the NFC Championship game, but still, I got 4 of them. Still sticking with my picks, 1 and 2. But I'll be shocked if the Bills, Niners, my Texans, the only team that's there in the playoffs besides my Packers, got eliminated. Especially the Rams. Nope. They're going to need some help. The Rams are going to need some big adjustment help against the Bears. So I'll be sticking to Bears by this close. So, there you have it, guys. What do you guys think of this? Are you interested, ready to watch the NFL Division round? I know I am because I'm tuning in for Texas and Texas A&M women's basketball. And men's do play tomorrow at 5 during the Bills and Broncos game because I am going to be going back and forth. So, should be no problem with that. And the women's will start at 3 p.m. on the SEC network after the Texans and Patriots game start, and the next hour Texas women's basketball starts. So there you have it, guys. Thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure you check your videos and your channels so you don't get demonetized by hackers, AI bots, stuff like that. Yeah. You can smash this like button on the video, subscribe to this channel to ring that bell notification on, and share this video out there. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you probably, I don't know if I can say after the game, maybe, I don't know, but I'll let you guys know. So time to head out, guys, before Monday's national championship game of Miami and Indiana. So there you have it. Peace and out until the next time. Have a great weekend.